Whoa, partner girls and partner boys, it's time to pony up. Big announcements were made as of the day of this recording. Big things are going to be happening the week after Money in the Bank. But we're going to talk about Money in the Bank right now and get to that later. First of all, to the left of me, Darnell, the Playmaker Rollins. How are you doing, Darnell?
Good, people. How are we doing?
Well, Darnell, it's time to take out the 6 shooters and go up in the saloon and stake your claim. Let you know what side of town is yours because somebody announced a TV deal today.
Ooh, TV deal.
And not just any TV deal, but a familiar face in the wrestling business, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
That one T-shirt company that happens to pro wrestle, it's going to be on TNT start October.
Not TNT.
Yeah, that TNT.
Are we talking Are we talking the same channel with the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be on?
Are we talking the same channel that just happened to be the home of WCW Nitro?
Oh.
That TNT. Oh my. Oh, good. So Darnell, you know what that means for a certain company that's been in panic mode for the past 6 months.
USA Network?
Uh-oh.
WWE?
Uh-oh.
They only a couple of turns away from y'all.
44 to 46. Oh, I didn't forget. Oh, man. Oh, no. This is tragic.
Oh, what day are they airing? I need to see what days they're going to be airing. That's gonna be interesting.
Oh, and Darnell, they said wins and losses are going to matter. They said that a guy just can't lose 20 straight matches, get hot before a pay-per-view, and then everything just resets. They say that a man can't lose to Bobby Roode and lose to Baron Corbin, then have a segment with Andrade on SmackDown, pull the briefcase, and then immediately be a contender. They say that can't happen no more. Oh, man. Oh, Darnell, well, it's time to pay up because somebody's been panicking for 6 months. 6 months. They've been trying to sign people. They've been trying to block people from leaving the company, and they have the one pay-per-view. They have the one match that can instantly bring back interest in their company. They even set it up to where whoever wins this match can do whatever they need to. Darnell, we're talking about Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is the last effort that WWE is going to put out before All Elite Wrestling starts rolling, before that T-shirt company starts getting in the ring. And Darnell, we're going to talk about it, but man, if this past week could go home TV of what they got lined up, if this is the best that they can do, it's going to be a lot of competition. It's going to be a lot of competition. Darnell, let's start off with what I hear, for whatever reason, is going to be a kickoff show match. Now, I'm confused about this being a kickoff show match for multiple reasons. For one of these guys...
I'm confused about the match, period.
One of these guys just main evented WrestleMania. He didn't go on last, of course, but, he was one of the 3 marquee matches that happened. Daniel Bryan.
Ain't two of them guys just went to Raw, too?
Yeah, and I think because they're on Raw, this match isn't for a title, which makes me even more confused because it's like, wait a minute, how is this a blood feud when Daniel Bryan and Rowan were just Daniel Bryan and Rowan when the Usos were on SmackDown? This wasn't a tag team when the Usos was on SmackDown. And also, the Usos aren't on SmackDown. So does that mean that all the pay-per-views are just freebies now? Are we going to do the wild card rule? Or is it just, you're already there anyway, might as well? Usos versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan, if you haven't been able to catch on yet, ladies and gentlemen. That is, and has been announced as far as today, which is Thursday on this recording. That is a pre-show match. Card subject to change. They might realize that the former WWE champion is in this match and put him on the main card. But as of now, the last guy to hold the WWE championship is on the kickoff show. Darnell, what say you?
Okay. Y'all know I love the Usos. But, they on Raw. How long are we going to keep the title on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins?
I thought that they were brought onto Raw to, transition that smoothly. Now they're feuding with a whole different championship.
They're shooting with the titles they already had like 2 billion times. They not even on that show no more. I get it when they first did it. Yeah, I like it because hey, you just ain't finna give away the titles to a team that never worked for it when we worked for it, and the people that beat us worked for it.
Yeah, but it was a means to an end because you're not addressing your true problem. Who are the tag teams on SmackDown? All that shaking up of the superstars, and who did you give to SmackDown to be tag team champion? What were you really going to do with the Hardy Boys during their reign? Because we could tell. We had an idea. They weren't on TV, and you blamed it on Jeff being hurt, even though Jeff did a segment with Lars Sullivan after they dropped the belt. So he was healthy enough to get body slammed by a rookie, but he couldn't stand on the apron and just drop the titles clean. Okay. All right. I mean, they say there's a brand split, but I could have swore that the club is now on Raw. And the Usos are on Raw. So
they're good on Raw.
They are. But with that, you got Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. You got Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And
Heavy Machinery.
Oh, okay. Heavy Machinery. That's 3. And I really thought Heavy Machinery was getting put to a point where once the Superstar Shakeup officially happened, they were going to hit their brand running. They had been pretty heavily featured, and now we haven't seen them for weeks. Shoot, you got EC3, and there's some. Oh yeah, you got EC3. You got Aleister Black just out there in the winds. Where did EC3 was supposed to be on Raw because he got body slammed by Strowman that the night that Raw was doing their Superstar Shakeup, but he hasn't done anything.
There's somebody sent a tweet out this week talking about if Aleister Black turned into the Raven of this era, they would be happy.
Oh, I'd be very happy because they have him doing these very, very poetic rambles. See, the difference between Aleister Black's rambling and Bray Wyatt's rambling is Bray Wyatt was leading a cult. He was preaching to recruit. Aleister Black is he is a tortured soul that wants to bring everybody down into the abyss with him. There is no recruiting. There is no cult. There's just darkness. Just like Raven. Raven's flock was, it was there. It happened, but Raven didn't give a damn about his flock. Raven cared about Raven. You could argue that Bray Wyatt / Jim Jones cared about the people that were in his cult. But anyway. Anyway, that being said, Aleister Black is also nowhere to be seen. EC3 is nowhere to be seen. So if you're wondering how long the kickoff show is going to be, or if Daniel Bryan and Rowan and the Usos are actually going to get a quality match, I doubt it.
Yeah. Back to Daniel Bryan. You saying about he was a former champion who was in WrestleMania main event match. When he just came back from injury.
Yeah, and you slap a belt on him. I'm looking at right now, Tony Nese and Daivari are on the main card. I know what I say, and I know it's talking ass backwards, but the former WWE champions on the kickoff show and the Cruiserweight Championship right now is making the main card.
That's the Cruiserweight ever make the main card.
But that's my thing. It's like, come on, man. Like,
and we're not counting Super Showdown because it wasn't no damn pre-show.
Oh God,
it was a pre-show.
I know I say what I say, Darnell. I know it sounds how it sounds, but I just don't care how Daniel Bryan right now just got the please save this belt reign. He just got the please save this belt call. This dude main evented. He main evented a Raw. Then the next night wins the tag team championships. They literally brought him back, put him into a main event on a show that wasn't his own. That literally said, look, you are so special. You are such a marquee. You're going to be on the last match, but the Universal Championship isn't.
The belt wasn't part of that show, and his opponent wasn't even a part of that show.
Exactly. The next night, you win a tag team championship. Darnell, that literally says Daniel Bryan is like one of the 4 marquee characters in WWE. Like, it's Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, whoever wins this damn briefcase, and Becky Lynch. Those are the people right now because Kofi Kingston's been going on last on his show.
I got a question. I got a question.
Yeah.
Basically, the Usos are in two feuds.
I think, yeah.
Why we couldn't get the Usos versus the Revival?
And why are we just spiting the Revival at every turn at this point? We all know what this is. We all know how sports entertainment / professional wrestling works. If you really think that you'll be able to devalue the Revival on the way out the door, then that means that the promoters who are trying to lowball them are simply marks themselves. Nobody in the professional wrestling business, you know what? Let me stop myself right there. Nobody in the professional wrestling business should let the way that somebody is portrayed on WWE influence the value that they place in a tag team like the Revival. The Revival, whether they go back to being the Mechanics or whether they change their name again, is going to go out and be one of the best tag teams in the entire business once their contract finally runs out. They're going to have a run similar to God or Gallows and Anderson did, or even how the Lucha Brothers are right now. They're going to have a ridiculous run. So the fact that Vince McMahon or whoever, Vince McMahon, who we kidding? The fact that Vince McMahon thinks that he can legitimately influence how people outside the WWE will view the Revival. The Revival are former WWE Tag Team Champions. They will be able to command top dollar wherever they go because they've never said anything but we're a tag team. And they won 2 tag team championships already. I don't understand why this is a thing. I don't understand how the Usos are on Raw and the Revival can't get a match. And since we already mentioned it, because I just find it hard to believe that 10 matches is going to make the main card and that the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be one of them. Tony Nese and Daivari. This is Tony Nese's – this is his first long-term feud. He's had matches before. He's had defenses, but Daivari –
Yeah, I've been there.
He has. Oh yeah, he has, believe it or not. But Daivari, this has been a really, really slow road for Daivari getting his pay-per-view match. Daivari's been active on the brand. I think Daivari was really in line to start becoming active as a heel when he was a part of Enzo Amore's clique before he got released. But he stayed strong and stayed trucking. And now he has his pay-per-view match. And, Tony Nese has kind of sort of been – he's been working – I mean, when I look at it, I look at Tony Nese as a good guy. But I know how good guys on 205 Live unfortunately fare. The show's already on the network. WWE likes their baby faces to go a certain way. And Tony Nese – basically has everything that WWE looks for in their wrestlers, except he's 2 inches too short and 20 pounds too light. Chiseled like a brick house, though. But as a baby face, it's okay, you're a really good athlete and you're a really good bodybuilder. Great diet. But when you're a good guy, why do I care? And I don't understand why. Because there's no excuse, Darnell. They say Triple H is actually in charge of 205 Live. So I'm trying to figure out why every 205 babyface has been the same. I'm going to come out in tights, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to flip, and I'm going to have a really, really good match. But nobody's going to care when I'm champion. The heel is always just going to be a way better character than me. Go ahead.
I feel bad because I just don't care about 205 Live. I'm sorry.
I mean, you're not the only one. What's crazy is this is a main roster brand. This is the third brand. It's not NXT. It's 205 Live. I feel your guilt. I do, but it's weird because it's an hour-long show with one championship. And look, we're not. We don't need a Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship. We don't need a Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. We're good on that. We're good. Besides, there's a lot of good tag teams that could come out of the Cruiserweight division, but all they're going to do is just give it the Lucha House Party for a year and forget about it. So we don't need that belt. So it's an hour-long show with one belt, and it's they have like 16 plus dudes. Because now, like Ligero had a match this past week, and it's like, God dang, he's in NXT UK. So y'all just pulling people from every developmental territory now. So besides Leo Rush, he's still in the doghouse. But
I thought he left.
No, he's in the doghouse. He did not leave. He's just in the doghouse. He's not being booked.
Go ahead, leave Leo Rush. Won't nobody be mad at you.
Hey, you've done the thing now. You got Bobby Lashley 2 Intercontinental Championships. So I'm pretty sure whatever you charge bookers, we'll see. Hey, we'll see how it goes, because his contract, they were renegotiating his contract, but he didn't take the new offer, so it has to be expiring too, because he's been in the system for like a year and a half or so now. So he was probably on his developmental deal. But so who are you picking, Nice or Daivari? I'm picking Nice because they've traditionally booked the Cruiserweight Championship very babyface heavy, and this is Daivari's first pay-per-view match. So I legit.
Are we both going Brian and Rowan? Even though it's like,
yeah, it would be very, very dumb for Daniel Bryan and Rowan to lose to the Usos when A, they just won the belt, and B, Usos right now are feuding with a tag team that doesn't even have a belt. It should be Bryan and Rowan.
Damn, I played against the Usos.
This is one of those things where it's like, look, if there's two ways this pay-per-view can go, and this match is basically going to show us which way it's going. I'm not saying I don't want a little bit of chaos, but what I am saying is the chaos has to make sense.
It better make sense for one of these matches that's coming that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So I got Tony Nese simply because the Cruiserweight Championship always gets stuck on a babyface. What say you?
Yeah. We're 2 for 2, so let's go.
Okay. All right. So I don't really know how they're going to slice this up, so I'm going to just go like in the order that Wikipedia has it. I'm going from top to bottom to top, if you're on it. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. They have actually done a good job of making me care about the United States Championship, which makes me
finally let Samoa Joe talk about families again.
I know, it's just something about when Samoa Joe talks about family. I think he said on Twitter, "I'm not your poppy, but on Sunday I will make you my son." I mean, that's watching the tape. That's knowing what your opponent's gonna do and say it before they do or say it. That's just brilliance.
Samoa Joe, what a dream! Yes. Problem is, I think Rey Mysterio's a United States Championship away from being a Grand Slam champion, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain, and I think so. Yeah,
that's what makes this tricky.
He actually, they don't count it, but he's gonna be. I'm really trying to think. Somebody who's listening to this, tweet us if I'm wrong. I think he'll be the only Grand Slam champion to have won the Cruiserweight Championship, while Jeff Hardy is the only Grand Slam champion to have won the Light Heavyweight Championship.
What about the Hardcore?
Jeff Hardy won the Hardcore. Rey Mysterio wasn't in WWE in time. But I don't know if he won the WCW Hardcore. But I don't think the WCW Hardcore got melted into the lineage. So he didn't win the Hardcore.
Is anybody else that's on the current roster was around when the Hardcore title was around?
Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is a Grand Slam champion who held the Hardcore title. Randy Orton, here's a fun fact for you. He won the OVW Hardcore title. But as far as like current Grand Slam champions under this format, I think Big Show. I think Big Show is one of them.
Contract.
Huh?
Big Show's still in the contract.
Yeah, man, Big Show's a lifer, dude. He may not be a full-time active wrestler, but he's probably gonna be one of those part-timers. He's doing ambassador work for the most part. He might end up doing what Mark Henry did, where like he just ends up retiring from inner competition just by default. But as far as so if you want to talk about like right now, people, it's Randy Orton if you're going to count the OVW Hardcore title. It's Jeff Hardy, And that's really it, because the Hardcore Championship got deactivated in like 2003. So
that was a fun.
Huh?
That was a fun title.
It was, man. It was good times. Good times. But, we say all that to say, I'm thinking that this feud was built up so much. And I'm thinking that, Rey Mysterio has been back. And on SmackDown, they literally kept putting him in matches with Andrade. They just kept putting Andrade in matches with Spanish-speaking people. I don't know if that's because they didn't think that he would be able to work with somebody who spoke English, because he had very great matches, including a 5-star match with Johnny Gargano on NXT. I don't know what that is. We know that Vince McMahon doesn't watch NXT, but Rey Mysterio's on Raw. He's outside of that vortex, and I'm thinking that Rey Mysterio is going to win, because they gave this feud so much that I'd honestly be surprised if they don't use Samoa Joe's promo and character ability for Seth Rollins, and don't use this to springboard Rey Mysterio as, oh yeah, you were somebody who could do more than just flip. You were somebody who was actually in the main event. We just forgot because you just kept having all these matches that never meant anything on SmackDown. I think this is, even though Samoa Joe is going to lose, what I'm predicting, I think it springboards both dudes higher than where they are right now.
You're going Mysterio. So, let's see. He got his ass whooped at WrestleMania.
30 seconds.
Didn't they have a one-on-one match on Raw? Or there was another who was involved in, and Rey Mysterio came out on top?
Yeah, he did a roll-up, but it's weird because Samoa Joe is so big, the roll-up just looked like he just, folded over.
So this is the rubber match for the United States title.
Indeed.
I'm going to go they love Mysterio so much. I think they're going to give him the Grand Slam right here.
Yeah, because, he looks like he's still, kicking very strong. But I think they definitely want to give that to him before it's why is he holding a belt? When it's, ooh, he's holding a belt. Let me just click on how old is Ray Ray to still be doing, 44? Yeah, man, 44. Still kicking that strong.
Indulge me for a moment, because to me, I feel like one of the two matches for Becky Lynch will be very soon.
Okay. I feel you. I think it's the Lacey Evans one. So, Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. We don't really need to say much about Becky per se, but more so Lacey. I think they've actually done a good job of legitimizing this character in a very short time. I was super skeptical, but
it was.
Yeah, I was super skeptical, but for the time constraints and for all the things surrounding it, I think they actually did what you're supposed to do if you're going to just catapult somebody from zero. Like, this is literally one of the few times that they've done it. That being said, if this match goes first, right now, me and you both are predicting that a Money in the Bank match hasn't happened yet. Because of this, they might open with one. They've usually, like in Hell in a Cell, when there's two Hell in a Cell matches, they'll open with it or have one second. Money in the Bank, they've either opened with one or had 1 second. So right now we're saying one hasn't happened yet. So do you think Lacey Evans, in her first actual feud, in her first pay-per-view match, because I don't even know if she had any takeover matches, do you think that they do this? Or do you think that she just wears Becky down to get cashed in on later?
The two, for you to really analyze the night that Becky Lynch can have, you have to sit there and ask yourself first: are they really going to plan for her to drop both belts at the pay-per-view?
Because then that would ruin it for the Money in the Bank winner. Because if basically, well, dang, if she loses the Raw one and a ladder match hasn't happened yet,
No, what I'm saying is, in your head, do you see her losing both belts? Don't matter to who. Does he lose both belts at this pay-per-view? That's the first question.
I find it hard to believe both belts.
So, you say that you find it hard to believe. So now you have to think. Put the women's ladder match aside. She has 2 opponents. Who are you more comfortable with beating Becky Lynch?
Charlotte.
Lacey Evans has never had. She had one match in WWE on the main roster.
I think that was the contender match.
Oh, 2 matches then. Yeah. The second one, the latest one, we didn't even know who she was facing. Yeah. We didn't even know who she came from. And then you have Charlotte, a woman who Becky Lynch has consistently beaten. So you have to think, how long is Charlotte going to keep on How long is Charlotte going to keep on losing to Becky?
Mm-hmm.
And then, can a newcomer on her first ever pay-per-view can pull off the biggest upset we've seen in women's wrestling history?
We're literally talking about somebody who was in their first ever main roster feud, who would be defeating somebody who just went on last at WrestleMania and won 2 championships.
And pinned Ronda Rousey for it.
Like we're talking about right now. When you look at this era, whatever this era is called, from 2016 to present, that's what this current era is. That's the time frame. Becky Lynch is going to be remembered as the top star of this era. That's the biggest upset. Like that what Darnell just said, that's the biggest upset in women's wrestling history. You're gonna beat somebody for a championship at a pay-per-view who just went on last at WWE WrestleMania. I ain't saying that right now Becky Lynch is number 1 on the top 5 list, but she is on the top 5 list right now. And we're talking about Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and then really, it's a debate for the other 3 spots. We just know that Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch are on it. Because then you got the Medusas / the Alundra Blazes. Then you got the Beth Phoenixes. You got at least 5 people from Japan you could think of to put on that list. It's when you think of like the whole pantheon of women's wrestling, we just know Becky's in the top 5. Lacey Evans, you're talking about Lacey Evans beating her in her first real feud. I don't know if Vince McMahon understands how big that would be.
About the biggest upset. And right now, the biggest upset in women's history, Paige beating AJ.
Oh, this would blow that out the water. Because Paige was at least NXT champion at the time. And AJ had been champion for so long. You almost were starting to wonder, like when she cut the promo, of like, I've been champion for so long. What else is there for me to do? Then the NXT Women's Champion comes out to challenge her. Like, it took a whole champion challenging her. And that's one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset in women's history. Oh, this would way surpass that. This would far surpass that.
I'm picking Becky Lynch.
Oh, yeah. Because, dude, Vince McMahon, knowing him, would probably pull the trigger just to like have people talking and say that something big happened. But I don't think he understands like what he would be doing if Lacey Evans wins that belt.
Now, let's go ahead and get to the women's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, because wouldn't that be hilarious if Lacey Evans wins and then there's a Money in the Bank contract match? Oh, Jesus Christ. But we're both going Becky, though. Natalia versus Dana Brooke versus Naomi versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Mandy Rose, the Desire of Fire and Desire, versus Ember Moon versus Carmella.
We have 2 former Mrs. Money in the Banks in this match.
One person has the weird distinction of already being a multi-time Money in the Bank match winner.
Thanks, James Ellsworth. Thank you.
It happened. It happened.
Now, I had to exclude Alexa Bliss. I'm sorry, goddess. But I have never seen somebody win Money in the Bank twice in a row.
Well, in different championship windows. Literally just said it. Like, believe it or not, they literally count that as 2 separate wins for Carmella. They literally count it as match happened, redo, match happened again. I don't.
Now, I'll be honest. I seen the 4 women on Raw, and I said my pick is coming from SmackDown. Naomi has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you talk about Natalya. That's to show why I ain't gonna pick Natalya. Dana Brooke.
No way in hell, dude. They've had man.
That pull everybody. That'll be the pick.
But man, that article that came out, poor Dana Brooke. The writers have been begging for Dana Brooke to get on TV somehow. Dana Brooke does everything right, which is a whole nother discussion that if we have time we can do. But Dana Brooke just ain't gonna win it because Vince McMahon just doesn't believe in her. So,
okay. Bayley ain't been the same since they broke up Sasha and her.
What a way to stick it to Sasha, because I mean that window has closed. There's literally no way that she can get into this match now. What a way to stick it to Sasha to say, okay, we'll just give your tag team partner the briefcase.
Carmella, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy Rose.
I feel like Fire and Desire would break up if Mandy Rose had the briefcase. They're doing it to where it seems like Sonya Deville is being supportive, but I feel like ego. Because they're not winning their tag team matches. So, like, ego will get in the way of that fairly soon. Which sucks because they have no tag teams.
Honestly, Sonya Deville should be in this match, not Mandy Rose.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Because, I mean, at what point... I don't know. I feel like Sonya Deville isn't that far off of a promo for Mandy Rose.
But hey, me and Corey Graves, we ain't gonna complain.
No, nobody's gonna complain when she's on TV. Take what you can get.
And that leaves one person left. And y'all, if y'all forgot, let me remind you, because Dallas probably remember. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this for the longest.
Yes.
Damn it. It's time.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's the War Goddess time. It's Ember Moon time.
Oh, look at you, Michael. Cool.
So.
Oh, that was the prediction?
That's my pick.
Oh, okay. I agree that it's coming from SmackDown because there's no way that Alexa Bliss wins this. It's just there's too many ways that you can go. There's too many ways that you need to go. My pick is coming from SmackDown because Becky can either lose or get cashed in on. And if Charlotte doesn't win a belt, she's a SmackDown superstar. If she does win a belt, she's the SmackDown champion, and Becky is officially branded to Raw. SmackDown needs this. Right now, SmackDown has all the women's division in its court. It has the tag teams. It has the depth. Like, it has all that. Raw, Becky Lynch is a big fish in a small pond, and she gets the chance to be the top guy and keep building and creating stars on her own because she's shown as the man in this character that she can make a feud and she can carry a feud and she can help people look legit in the feud. So
I thought it was something else to show, but I'm gonna save that for later.
Yeah, with that, I'm thinking Bayley's gonna get it. I'm thinking there's a lot. I'm thinking Bayley and Ember Moon are the only two legitimate picks. I'm thinking it's between Bayley and Ember Moon, and I'm thinking that the way with AEW confirming that they're going to be on TNT, and with Sasha Banks quitting, like she quit at WrestleMania. She didn't say she needed a break. She quit. So with Sasha Banks not coming back in time for Money in the Bank, because let's be honest, Darnell, let's think about it. If you're mad about your creative positioning, if you're mad about not getting long championship runs, why would you not try to politic and get it put into the Money in the Bank match? You don't need it, but that's already a default championship. That's already waiting in the wings. You're on Raw right now. I mean, if Becky loses the blue belt, you got Becky and that's it. I mean, seriously. They're going to make you drop the belt to Lacey. They're going to make you drop the belt to Natalya. They're going to make you drop the belt to Naomi. Naomi's in a slump right now. What is going on? This is not the SmackDown Naomi that was a 2-time champion. But still. So I'm thinking like the way that Vince just is doing his business right now, I think Bayley has a really, really good shot to win that briefcase.
Our first disagreement.
Yeah. So that would be Women's Championship, Women's Money in the Bank. That would mean that we would be on our 6th or 7th match of the card. So
have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought-out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release it when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Bar podcast is the podcast that I use. We are on all them platforms. We are on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that it's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles.
Oh, you don't think that's the main event?
Oh, God, no. Seth Rollins hasn't even been on his own show. The go-home pay-per-view, Seth Rollins on his own show could only get a backstage segment. On a 3-hour show, Seth Rollins didn't have a match. He just had a backstage promo. And Darnell was looking hard. I was like, there's no way in hell this 3-hour show, the Universal Champion is not going to have a match or an in-ring segment or nothing. And Darnell, that's exactly what they did.
The girlfriend has taken over.
Oh, Jesus. Right where it hurts. You got Kofi Kingston, who everybody's saying isn't a legitimate champion and is saying world champion shouldn't throw pancakes and he should take steroids and get bigger. But last time I checked, he's going on last on his show. He's opening up his show. He's having mid-show segments on his show. Becky Lynch is having segments on. She wasn't on SmackDown, but that's because she was selling an injury because she had a big powerbomb through the table spot. She had a contract signing where she took on 2 people and lost, but she was there.
Yeah, both contract signings took place on Raw.
But Seth Rollins just had a backstage promo where he said he was going to prove himself to AJ Styles in the WWE Universe. You're the Universal Champion. What do you have to prove to us? Like you're also like a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. What you got to prove to AJ Styles? Like, okay, technically 5. Because he's a 2-time Ring of Honor champion. I keep forgetting that. But yeah, so either way, there's nothing to prove. Again, what are we doing with the babyface stuff? For anybody who wants to say that Kofi Kingston isn't believable as a world champion, Kofi Kingston has a character. We know what Kofi Kingston is. What is Seth Rollins right now without a big person to slay? He's just a really good wrestler. That being said, he's going against another very good wrestler. But I think the difference is AJ Styles has been able to infuse Alan Jones into the professional wrestling universe. We know that when AJ Styles comes out, this is the elite version. This is the top tier version of Alan Jones, whoever Alan Jones is. So I don't think AJ is going to win. I think that this is a very, very, very credible opponent for Seth's first defense as they try to get this belt some steam and get this belt some credibility. But I don't know how I'm supposed to respect this belt when we finally have our first full-time champion. And 1 week, the WWE Championship main events his show. And to go home to a pay-per-view where he could get cashed in on, he's not even like in the ring. He just has a backstage promo.
Can I say far as picking, I hate this pay-per-view?
And why is that?
When do I ever pick against the Usos? When do I ever pick against AJ Styles? I hate this pay-per-view. I'm picking Rollins.
I mean, this pay-per-view, as far as like the moments are going to come from the ladder matches, but when you look at this card, it's just
as they should, because it's the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, like, it's you just have to think to yourself, AJ Styles beating Seth Rollins, what does that mean? Like what does it mean in the long term? Lacey Evans beating Becky Lynch. Do they really understand the significance of that? Unfortunately, some things just have to happen. Because, yeah, some people will complain if AJ wins. Some people will complain if Seth Rollins retains. But at the end of the day, you just have to think like, dude, somebody's going to win a briefcase. Just because somebody wins this match and you get your prediction right doesn't out with the belt.
Especially this wild card rule now.
Yeah, because, dudes, Seth Rollins, he's getting booked worse than Brock Lesnar got booked. Seth Rollins got pinned by Baron Corbin in a tag team match that opened up Raw. Brock Lesnar would never.
He had help.
Brock Lesnar would never. So, yeah, we're saying Rollins. But when you say Rollins, do you think that he'll get cashed in on, or do you think he's walking out with the belt?
You said it ain't the main event, so...
That is true. It all depends on when the match is. That makes me think, though, because, see, they do this, but they haven't done it in a situation where, there could be overlapping. It's been a long time since the Money in the Bank contract was truly the Money in the Bank contract and wasn't brand restricted.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So I'll let it get a cage match.
Yep. This is going to be the perfect match where it's like, oh, yeah, incredible match. Oh, no, Shane McMahon. So, still cage match, The Miz versus Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon has been one of the, it makes me feel weird to say this, but he's been one of the best heels in the entire roster. And I don't know if that's a really good thing for him or a really bad thing for everybody else. But Shane McMahon right now is only in WWE as an on-screen performer. He's not an executive right now.
God damn it, right now, Shane McMahon's the face of WWE.
It's crazy. Like, it's weird to see a McMahon in a role where he is an on-screen performer. Like, he doesn't, let's be honest. He's a McMahon. He is a significant shareholder. So, of course, the family business, he'll do things. But as far as, an official title or day-to-day role, he doesn't have that. So it's weird to see that a McMahon has become a full-time performer, and I'm not going to lie, man.
You see him on Mondays, you see him on Tuesdays.
And when I see him, I don't think Shane McMahon, one of the four McMahons. I think Shane McMahon, former European champion, Shane McMahon, former hardcore champion, and Shane McMahon, former tag team champion. I think it's Shane McMahon as a mid-carder. I think Shane McMahon has done a good job in his own right of, yeah, we're never going to expect you to have one of the best in-ring matches, but you're doing it, man. Like, he's doing it, and the on-screen role he is portraying, like, he is an actor in the world of sports entertainment, and I believe he is doing what he is doing very, very well. That being said, The Miz is an actual competitor in WWE, and I wonder, after losing the Falls Count Anywhere match with a very technical pin, if Miz doesn't get this payoff and then moves on to greener pastures. Because it's not like Shane McMahon has nothing to do if he loses to The Miz. He still has a very, very important feud to deal with.
That's in case y'all forgot. Yes, Shane McMahon won at Mania, but he didn't leave like a winner.
Oh no. So it's because Shane McMahon isn't a part-timer. I would say he's more of a RVD or Chris Jericho. When he's around, he's gonna be around. But when he's like out of the ring, he's out of the ring. So I'm thinking The Miz because long term, I think this whole feud is for The Miz. I think this is to help The Miz like get over that hump so that he could be remembered as, oh, this was somebody from the PG era that we built up that's credible now.
It's interesting because Bobby Lashley, Elias, and Corbin every once in a while. Hell, if you want, you can actually get Drew McIntyre too.
Mm-hmm.
Everything says Shane, but I'm going with The Miz.
Well,
and speaking of Elias, can I just go ahead and pick Roman Reigns?
Yep, you sure can, because we all know that feud isn't Elias versus Roman Reigns. It's Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns. Elias is just the Pete Gas of the. You know what is this, Eric? Why you do that? Like, talk about the match for a little bit while I figure out what this era is actually called.
Okay, so pretty much, if y'all recall, Superstar Shakeup. Vince McMahon comes out, biggest acquisition in SmackDown Live history, Elias. And let's be for real, all us knew at the time. So the person who's coming to interrupt Elias is actually the biggest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. Question is, who is it? The big dog Roman Reigns. Superman punches Vince McMahon. Got a hell of a cheer for that, because who doesn't want to see Vince McMahon get beat up once in a while? Comes back the following week. Shane doesn't like it. Shane must make him pay. This is how this began. So Elias jumped on board with Shane McMahon. That's how your feud started. So yeah, Shane McMahon's actually in 2 feuds. But Elias is taking one half of it away for right now. And by the way, when does Elias ever win a pay-per-view match? So
when does he ever win? The new era. This is the new era. Last era was the reality era. That's why I was confused. So yeah, the new era is current brand split, present. So yeah. Ugh. But Roman Reigns by a lot. I'm hoping it's a squash match. We can hurry and get to the other Money in the Bank. Just being honest. Roman Reigns, he doesn't need to. He doesn't have a championship. Right now, they're doing bottom up. Pushing him down our throats didn't work. So right now, they're legitimately like building him up the long way on the show. It's traditionally known to be the veteran show, the locker room driven show, the if you work hard, blah 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 show. So Roman Reigns wins. I'm just.
By the way, even though they lost, we got to saw the Cousins team together. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't get to see the Bloodline very often. I don't think Bloodline's team together since Roman beat Sheamus for the undisputed title. So,
and that brings us to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, because the other women's championship match will probably be the semi-main, just to give the room, as that was what I put it. So, unfortunately, the last year's Money in the Bank run will not be in this year's Money in the Bank match.
That might be a blessing in disguise.
It better be, because I was mad as hell.
Well, you know.
But anyway, you have
Kane versus. Oh, my bad. You do it. I don't know if you're gonna do it.
Baron Corbin. Yes, people, Baron Corbin.
Boo.
Sami Zayn, who replaces Braun Strowman because he beat Braun Strowman with the help of some other people.
Yay.
Ricochet.
Yay.
Ricochet on SmackDown.
Is he?
No, he was on SmackDown this past Tuesday.
Oh, what? I was about to say, I got switched again.
And Drew McIntyre.
Yay!
That's the Raw side. On the SmackDown side, Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor.
Yay!
Andrade.
Yay!
Ali. Mustafa Ali. And the Viper Randy Orton.
He's old.
By the way, when is Andrade and Mustafa Ali gonna start getting RKO so dirty?
Well, somebody picked the RKO. Finn Balor was already knocked out, so.
I mean, like, I'm just sitting here like, dude, how many times you want to get RKO and have people go stupid over it?
I mean, high flyers usually take the best RKOs. You remember that one time RVD got RKO'd and DDT'd himself?
Oh my gosh, I remember that RKO. Matter of fact, I remember when he threw him off the ladder and RKO him. I'm just like,
bro. RVD is a G. Good for him in Impact Wrestling, by the way. I'm glad that he got this full-time deal. I hope it's not the last, but if it is, good that he's in a major promotion getting that last one. That being said, I mean,
I got a sneaky. We might pick the same person.
I don't think we are. You go first because my pick isn't who I want to win. My pick is unfortunately. This is who I think they're going with.
Oh, might as well go ahead then. Go ahead. I got to hear this.
How are they not going Baron Corbin?
Oh, he's picking Corbin.
How, like, with everything they've been doing, with the way that they've been giving Baron Corbin the Roman Reigns push as a heel. Even though nobody wants to see him on the TV.
So we're saying Baron Corbin's going to be a 2-time Money in the Bank.
Unfortunately. Like when you look at what they're doing with Baron Corbin went from losing Money in the Bank on the B show to Jinder Mahal to going to Raw, the flagship show, being a GM, being featured heavily, being blamed single-handedly by the McMahons and their work shoot promo, and being on TV every single week. They give him a stable, they take the stable away. They give him a stable, they take the stable away. He was in the little mini tournament to determine the number one contender for the Universal Championship. He main evented Raw that week after winning a triple threat. He just pinned Seth Rollins. If it was like a little bit of, Baron Corbin, he's around, blah, 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 AJ Styles, this and that, it'd be one thing. When you really look, they've been slowly trying to figure out what to do with Baron Corbin and how to do it since they brought him up from NXT. The first time he won Money in the Bank, John Cena literally said he wasn't ready, like backstage at the show that day, and John Cena interfered in the Money in the Bank match. If Baron Corbin had been setting up the ring, doing all the good stuff, and kept his mouth shut, he probably would have won the championship that night. But Cena vetoed it. And when Cena vetoes something, Cena vetoes something. I mean, the only other person I can honestly see is Andrade. Because Andrade's been speaking more English, which means he wants to get pushed. He's doing the work to get pushed. But Baron just Seth Rollins in a tag team match. This isn't Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura being pinned as United States champion in a throwaway tag team match on SmackDown. This is the Raw World Champion opening up the show and getting pinned. That is significant.
He picked. I would love for it to be Randy Orton. No, you know how great of a feeling it is for us fans to have just to know that we are RKO away from crowning a new champion with the Money in the Bank contract in his hands.
But I mean, why? What? Like, if you're gonna be surprised about the whole 2-time winner thing, he's won it before, right?
I said I would like for it. Sami Zayn just got in the Money in the Bank match. If they do that, that would be the biggest turnaround ever.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't even in the Money in the Bank match to start with. You just got into it, and then you won it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for Ricochet because I'm sick and tired of people using Ricochet as a stepping stone. I think you tweeted something like that this week. Ali, Mustafa. I'm not feeling you. Finn Balor. Was Miz Money in the Bank and Intercontinental Champion at the same time?
I don't know, but RVD was.
So it's possible.
It is.
And that, I think I just told. So what? I already got the same as yeah, there's at least one person left. If y'all want the rating that y'all looking for, if you want for us to get off your goddamn neck, if you want to show AEW what it's all about, only one man deserved this Money in the Bank contract.
Oh.
Now, technically, he really doesn't need it because he's that damn good. But since you've been booking the way you've been booking him, if you really want to shut some people up, this man deserves the Money in the Bank contract. And that is the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. Do the right thing. If you want to turn things around, Drew McIntyre. You know how I said about the RKO? Oh, what a fear it would be to know that you're a Claymore kick away from losing your title. Drew McIntyre.
Now, have you been sitting on that for a couple of weeks, or did something happen?
Oh, no, I've been sitting on that.
I mean, were you waiting for things to change or develop?
I wanted to see where it was going to go.
And with the way that they've gone, you're still that confident? I mean, out of everybody, I would argue that Ricochet, Baron, and Andrade have been featured the most in the entire match.
But remember my reasons. If they want to get Fox off their neck, if they want to make a statement to AEW, Drew McIntyre is your answer. Now, the most likely it might be yours, and they're still gonna continue having problems.
Not wrong.
But if they want to make a statement, Drew McIntyre. I
do not disagree. I'm just unfortunate.
Every week, looking like when he gonna claim or hit somebody, when he gonna do it, when it's gonna happen.
Unfortunately, I am skeptical.
You have every right to do. See, you picking the most logical way in this one. I'm picking in the way of you want to shut everybody up. That's your choice.
Yep. To a T. To a T. So I feel like there's more. Do you think at least? Because you gotta think it's already came out that they realized the past 2 Money in the Bank winners, they screwed it up, and they have to re-legitimize this briefcase. So if Baron does win this briefcase, they can't renege. They can't have 3 straight Money in the Bank winners lose their cash. And there's been long Money in the Bank holders before.
You right.
People to hold over 200 days before.
You know what the problem gonna be?
What?
You're gonna have even more problems with your ratings.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if Baron Corbin has the briefcase, we have to go off of mathematics and probability. It's impossible for a guy to get the Money in the Bank briefcase twice and lose both cash-ins. And it's also highly improbable that 3 straight Money in the Bank winners, if you include the women's Money in the Bank winners, it would be impossible that 3 out of the last 6, technically, Money in the Bank winners failed to cash in. You're talking about 50% when the rate was like 97.5 or something like that.
It'll be so easy. You don't have to plan nothing for Drew McIntyre. You don't got to set nothing up.
I know he's just a big guy, and he's mad that Baron took his spot, and the crowd just eventually likes him because he's beating up Baron Corbin. He'll be the babyface in the feud because he's beating up Baron Corbin.
No, what I'm saying is Drew McIntyre, he don't care where you at. He don't care what you're doing. If you feel like beating your behind, he's going to do it right then and there.
Well, luckily, that's how the character has been portrayed, but you know how much they'll probably mess that up and overthink it. It was the Money to Bank briefcase holder.
You don't got nothing to think about. If you put it on Drew McIntyre, ain't nothing to think about. Drew, whenever you ready, go ahead.
Again, the valid skepticism. We can only hope because, I mean, that is exactly how the Money to Bank briefcase is supposed to be used. I just think that Baron Corbin's character would overthink it so much. I feel like the teases would just be the worst teases in the world, especially if Seth Rollins retains. But, you know.
All right. The Queen.
Mm-hmm. She's about to be Charlotte, North Carolina's greatest professional athlete because Kimball Walker might be taking the digs to go somewhere else. So this might be all the Queen City has to cheer for.
I can't. I already picked against the Uso. I already picked against AJ Styles. I ain't picking against the Queen.
This is gonna tie Trish. This is gonna break the tie with Trish Stratus. They include her hardcore championship along with her list of championships. So right now the record is 8 for championships that a woman has held in WWE. So she can break the tie with this win. That being said, it doesn't mean that she walks out with the belt. With that possibility, I find it super hard to pick against Charlotte. She doesn't have to walk out with the belt. Ember Moon or Bayley can walk out with the belt and have the crowd super hype. And you also put Becky Lynch back on one show and you like wrap the bow on what was an amazing post-WrestleMania push. Raw is the flagship show. So all the Beth Phoenix matches, the Trish Stratus matches, the Lita matches, the Lacey Evans matches, all the dream matches are going to happen on Raw anyway because it's the flagship show. So there's a lot of stuff Becky can do at SummerSlam and she doesn't have both belts. But you need SmackDown to you need it because that's the show Fox is getting. It doesn't matter if you're sharing superstars with the wild card rule. That's the show Fox is getting. SmackDown needs to put their foot on the business's neck. Again, so much you can say about Becky Lynch, but
and then there was only one match left.
Mm-hmm.
This one. Matter of fact, can you talk about what happened at the end of SmackDown?
Well, Kofi Kingston, he was getting the bricks put to him. He was getting those Nikes shoved down his chest. Xavier tried to come out, and it just didn't work. You see, this episode of the KO show was different because Kevin Owens was doing his introduction backstage, and Kofi Kingston's music just cut him off. So we have Kofi Kingston in the ring, and he's calling Kevin Owens out when it's Kevin Owens' own show. Again, a world champion just happening to stake dominance and stake claim on his own show. It's a novel concept. Kevin Owens, though, comes back on Titantron, and they have a nice little video package where he's powerbombing best friends and, hurting people's spines on the hardest part of the ring. And Kofi Kingston asks, well, what is that supposed to prove? They have a little shouting match, and Kofi says, you won't come out here. And Kevin Owens says, oh, you think I won't come out there? Kevin Owens comes out, and then long story short, Sami Zayn comes, and it's a 2-on-1. Xavier Woods tries to come out, and poor Xavier, as he always is, quickly gets neutralized. And then it looks like Kofi's about to be down for the count. Kevin Owens says that he's going to leave just enough so that you make it to Sunday. Kevin Owens doesn't want to risk it. He wants to win that belt. He doesn't want the match to be postponed because Kofi isn't medically cleared to compete. Goes for the cannonball. Kofi moves. Sami Zayn tries to get some, tries to, help Kevin out, takes a trouble in paradise. It's Kevin Owens' feud and Daniel Bryan's feud. It's very interesting when you look at Kofi Kingston because the WrestleMania story was a long story. And now this story is literally touching on what the fans are saying as far as the New Day character and the throwing the pancakes, and there's no way you can truly be the world champion and keep the world championship if you're doing that stuff. I mean, they literally had Kevin Owens be an honorary member of the New Day and turn on Kofi. It was almost to say that, like, what are you doing? Do you want to dance and have fun and sell t-shirts, or do you want to be world champion? That's literally what they were saying in that moment. So with Kofi Kingston's 2 feuds so far, and with this feud and this match that's going to happen on Sunday, I find it hard to believe that Kofi's going to lose this match. I feel like this championship reign, they are legitimizing Kofi Kingston. They learned from King Booker. They learned from WrestleMania 19. They learned from the Shelton Benjamin failed pushes. They learned from the Bobby Lashley failed pushes. They finally have the wrestler with the athleticism, the charisma, the, okay, we can do it this way. Okay, we can do it that way. Kofi Kingston has always been the total package. They're just now realizing that Kofi Kingston is the total package. And when you're in an era where the ratings are free falling, but Roman Reigns is on both shows, maybe Roman Reigns isn't the savior you thought he was. Now, the ratings are still going down, and Kofi Kingston isn't doing anything to change that on his own, but the live reaction is undeniable, Darnell. When Kofi Kingston comes out, when Kofi Kingston has his matches, when Kofi Kingston is coming back after getting beat up for 2 minutes, you hear the cheers, and they're not all high-pitched. People care about Kofi Kingston, man. It's hard to get a babyface genuinely over, but I think that one is.
Couldn't done it better myself. I'm going Kingston. Now, just to let y'all know, we're going to disagree on the Money in the Bank matches. All the single matches, we're the same. But if you notice something, you know how we like to talk and we like for WWE to continue something that they done long term, and not forget about it. I got Drew McIntyre winning Money in the Bank match. I got Kingston and Seth Rollins retaining their titles. And we talked about this probably a month or 2 ago. If they do it, you don't have to worry about them running this free falling no more.
I want to see Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. If it's all about who will be the guy that Roman Reigns beats at WrestleMania, who will be the guy to go on a tear and become one of the biggest stars in the company after winning this briefcase? Who is the guy that's going to beat Kofi Kingston and be the most hated man in America?
What about a guy who doesn't give a crap about what the people think?
I think that might be the way to go. But again, Darnell, skepticism, because it just makes too much creative sense. It makes too much creative sense.
That's all I got.
Yeah, Money in the Bank this Sunday, 25th, what's 19 times 7? No, so Saturday, the Saturday after, it's going to be a big show and everything and all that good stuff. But, that's life. That's new beginnings. A very unfortunate situation happened over the weekend. WCW and Lucha Libre legend Silver King died at the age of 51 after having a heart attack in the middle of the ring. Part of the reason why he met his demise is because it seemed like nobody knew what was going on. What's unfortunate and scary to me is that a lot of the in-ring deaths, and I say a lot because one is already too many, but there was another one. I won't say his name out of respect, but there was another one in a situation that involved a very high-profile superstar where he died in a match. And I don't think it's Lucha Libre's fault. I don't think it's just Lucha Libre in general, because there's a lot of stuff in deathmatch wrestling that could go wrong. It just doesn't. But, I just hope that whatever is wrong, I just hope that whatever led to Silver King having a heart attack and nobody recognizing what went on, I hope that changes. I hope that's fixed, because Yeah, me and Darnell have never stepped inside the square circle. Yeah, me and Darnell haven't done blow drills before, and we haven't done flat bump drills before. But dude, it doesn't matter what your role is in the industry. It shouldn't be a novel concept. It shouldn't be a restricted opinion. It shouldn't be something that needs a gatekeeper to say that nobody should be dying in the ring. Especially if it's something that somebody who is an official or who is portraying an official should be able to recognize the signs of. I'm a licensed official in track and field, and it's not just track I learned. I had to go over everything else that every other administrator and coach and official in every other sport had to go through. So I just don't understand how when you're learning everything about the industry and the business, where the first thing that you learn is always protect your opponent, which includes always protect the people you're officiating. I just don't get how something that sad happens. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and nothing's going to intervene. But that sucks to hear, and the circumstances around it, that sucked to hear. So as we celebrate the turn of an era in the professional wrestling business, let us all just remember that there are some things that need to come with this new era. With this new era comes new things and new athleticism, and we just got to, we got to take care of each other. Got to watch out for each other. So y'all enjoy the ladder matches. Y'all enjoy Baron Corbin getting the push of a lifetime and all of us being bored with it. And, yeah, let's just hope that one blonde doesn't actually win the belt. Oh, wait, they're both blonde. And one of them is actually fighting for a briefcase. Three of them actually fighting for a briefcase and could also have the belt. So let's just hope those 4 blondes don't win. Later.